Colin, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, mate?
I'm pretty good. Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
Looking back at the original Dumbo, it's one of those films that when people talk about the films that are guaranteed to make them cry,
Yeah.
that's one.
Do you remember it when you were a kid?
I vaguely remember it. I remember never wanting to watch it again as a child because
Unless they remade it in a different form.
Exactly. We'll get back to that, but just in terms of yourself, what is the last film, aside from Dumbo, that made you cry?
I saw, The Rider.
Yes.
Did you see it?
I did.
What did you
It was powerful. There was a lot to.
It killed me.
Yeah, that immediately after that you need to watch
It fucking destroyed me. I mean, I remember La Vie en Rose destroyed me. I remember Dead Poets Society destroyed me. I remember 35 years ago E.T. destroyed me. But the most recent thing was The Rider. I just thought it was the most beautiful, most honest, most gut-wrenching and really respectful look at the struggle that can be being a human being and having a family and dealing with poverty and dealing with injury and dreams abashed. And I just, The Rider.
It's a fantastic choice, and I totally understand the emotional connection to it because it was.
I was full on shoulder crying.
Oh right!
At the end of it,
don't look at me.
No, full on ugly shoulder crying. Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about the first time you met Tim?
First time I met Tim was, I don't know what project it was for. I don't think he has general meetings. He's not that dull. But it must have been for something specific. It was about 10 years ago, and we had a cup of coffee together, and we spoke for a while. I can't remember. But he was lovely back then, and he was lovely to work with. I've been a fan of his for 30 plus years, ever since I saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Maybe I was 10 or 12, I don't know. And everything after that, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, and on and on and on. So he's a beautiful fucking creature, man. He really is. He's so magic. Every cell of his body vibrates with creative energy, and he's just like a Tasmanian dust devil on the set. And he imagined and willed this whole world into being, using the source material. Of course, it's not totally his creation, but how he willed it into being and how he imagined it into being in this format, and how he created this human story and the sets that we worked on, between him and the production designer. He was just a marvel to be around, really, and he creates a family environment on the film set. It really didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
It felt like, a bunch of kids in the sandbox playing around for 5 or 6 months.
I was going to ask, because you're saying the family environment, because Ava has worked with him an awful lot. Danny DeVito, I think, up to 4.
Is he up to 4? Oh, yeah, Big Fish, the 2 Batmans, yeah.
And this one.
And Michael, 3 or 4?
Michael, I think,
Beetlejuice, 2 Batmans.
This would be 4
This
for
would
him.
be 4 for him, Eva 3.
So, does working with a cast that is so used to working with a director,
It's nice.
Are they like, here's some cliff notes for
No,
how to...
not at all. No, not at all. It's more organic than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they say, listen, he's not someone you need to be warned about, And,
Sure.
and you instantly see the level of affection and that is mutual between him and Ava, him and Danny, Michael and him and there's just a deep affection there, and it's very simple, and they enjoy each other's company. And so you arrive there, and the work is already done, and they're all very welcoming and inviting. And it was easy, man. It was easy. And you get why people like Johnny have gone back so many times, and Ava and Danny and Michael have gone back so many times to work with him, because, as I said, he truly is magic to be around, and he's genius at bringing these elaborate, fantastical worlds to life. But more importantly than bringing those worlds to life is the characters that he inhabits those worlds with are always characters that are dealing with isolation and the struggle of not belonging and the outsider, which Dumbo is obviously a quintessential outsider,
Well, I remember seeing his films. I think the first one I seen of his was Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, what a beauty!
And it is, again, it is that story of the outsider, and it's told so beautifully.
Yeah.
But there is also, when you're that bit younger and you see films like that, they do stick in your mind. It's not quite like watching a traumatic film.
No, but it's scary.
Exactly. Like watching the original Dumbo. If you're that bit too young, there is like the pink elephant scene. You're like, oh, as a child, it's in your mind.
As a grown up.
Even as a grown-up,
I saw that
actually,
recently,
It was like, oh, that's for kids,
flashback,
is it? This PTSD from the original Dumbo. But how do you feel about showing, say, even your kids films that you were like, I know this might upset them, or like this might be, like we said, like that little bit traumatic, or is that something you wouldn't want the kids to see?
James now watches a lot of films that are age appropriate. He's 15, so he can pretty much, he's carte blanche and pretty much can watch anything. within reason. That's open to interpretation, of course. Sure. Henry, I showed Henry It when he was 8, which I might take that. I might take
Is this the new one?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I might take that one back. You know, it worked out at the end. I mean, it did work out, and we had to have a few conversations and stuff. And
there's no therapy.
That was a bit of
yet.
a gross misjudgment on my part. Trying to be cool dad that time, it backfired. But this. Look, one of the things I love about this is it does deal with heavy themes. You know, it deals with loss, and the loss of a mother, like as a result of her untimely death, and it deals, you know, not heavily, but it's there. It's in the film. It deals with the forced separation of a baby boy from his mother, Dumbo from his mother, Jumbo. That's all in there, and it deals with greed and cruelty, but things that I think that. It's all in the presentation. It's not really the theme that's explored. It's how it's presented that decides whether it's appropriate for a child or not. And I think that was the line that Tim tried to strike. You know, the line that he trod upon while making the film was to have it respectively deal with things that children are dealing with all over the world from very young ages, unfortunately, which is sickness or death and grief and sadness and loneliness and isolation, and also do it in a way that never strays too far from hope and from the essential messages of inclusion and compassion, and how that can make the world a more tolerable and tolerant place. You know?
One final question, and I will be killed if I don't ask you.
Yeah.
Has Danny asked you on to It's Always Sunny?
No.
He should have.
No. I don't.
You'd go though, right?
I don't know. Yeah, would I? Yeah. Good stuff. He's brilliant, isn't he?
He's something like there's even scenes in that film where I'm like, he's just channeling Frank from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, no, he's just an amazing character, man. I loved working with him. He's a blast to be around.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Cheers,
Thanks so much, Colin.
Thanks for taking the time.
What's happening? Where are they taking her?
Take Dumbo back inside.
But she's his mom. Do something. He needs us. Look at me. We're gonna bring your mama home.
He doesn't look like magic to me.
Your children need you to believe in them.
You can do it, Dumbo. Show him.